We are getting ever so closer to the release of the much anticipated Spider-Man No Way Home, less than under a month away. And with Spider-Man No Way Home, they are going head-on first into the multiverse. So with all of that, I started thinking of some interesting concepts about the movie, in particular how it could start. So I thought a little fun video to anticipate the film coming out very soon. I thought, here's how I would like to see the movie start. Now, of course, what I'm about to say here is probably not gonna happen. I mean, maybe it could, maybe it won't. I have no idea. I'm just guessing stuff. Now, this idea sprouted from an Instagram post I saw, which I can't quite recall who posted it, but maybe some of you saw something similar to it on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or whatever. But anyways, the post was basically a video someone made where it basically showed, you know, the opening logos of the movie, Sony, Columbia, and Marvel Studios, and showing what if the movie started out like this. More importantly, it showed the combination of music in the intro. So here's how I see it going. So you have the normal Sony logo pops in and goes ping, as normal. And then of course the Columbia logo comes up, and with it is where Tom Holland's Spider-Man theme starts. We start hearing the main chorus of the theme song. And it's already got your blood pumping because you're like, oh my god, I'm so excited, this film is like the most important thing ever. But then of course we transition into the Marvel Studios logo. And as that starts, while the Tom Holland theme is still going, we then also hear on top of it the Tobey Maguire theme, like this. Just those classic opening notes would just get your blood pumping even more. Urgh. And it keeps going for a little bit on top of the Tom Holland theme song, but then at a certain point is when the Andrew Garfield theme starts playing, right around here. And then slowly, as the Marvel Studios logo keeps going, all three songs start slowly merging into one song. I'll try and find someone's version of that online just to give you an example. That right there should already get you excited before the movie even starts. But that's not where my idea ends, my friends. No, no, no. So to help really set the mood of this movie right now in its multiverse scale, here's where it also starts. So once the Marvel Studios logo vanishes and all the music stops playing, that's when we cut to a title card of Earth 96283, which is also known as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. At least that's what the Wikipedia page says. And here, with this title card, we then hear the familiar voice of Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, specifically a line of dialogue from near the end of Spider-Man 2.
I will not die a monster.
And of course, we know how this scene plays out. He destroys his machine, MJ learns Peter is Spider-Man, Peter screams, and then saves her. And of course, Doc Ock falls to the bottom of the water with his machine, presumably dead, never to be seen again. Or so we thought. Now, simultaneously as this is happening, we then cut to another title card of Earth 120703. I know, mouthful. Which is known as Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe. And similar thing to the previous one I just mentioned, over that title card, we then hear familiar dialogue from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. This dialogue also comes from the final battle of the movie with Electro. In the scene, Peter and Gwen are using the power plant's electricity to supercharge Electro like a battery to defeat him. And then of course he dies. Or of course, so we all thought. Now, I never believed Electro was dead during that film because electricity can't be destroyed, only moved. Now, I think this would be a really cool and awesome thing to see. Because first off, for someone like me, it gives me the chance to actually see a scene from one of those original Spider-Man films on the big screen. I was born in 2001, so I was born right around the time these films were starting to get made. So I don't recall seeing Spider-Man 1 and 2 when they came out. Or I was probably never taken to see them during the movie theaters, I have no idea. I may have saw Spider-Man 3 when that came out. It was 2007, so I would have been 6 years old, so I possibly could have saw that one in the theaters, but definitely for sure I did not see Spider-Man 1 or 2 in the theaters. So this would be very cool for me to see a scene from that movie on the big screen. And I did see Amazing Spider-Man's 1 and 2 both on the big screen, so that one wouldn't be as big of a deal for me, but still would be cool to watch that scene again. Plus, it perfectly sets the stage for anyone watching it, because there is a possibility that a lot of younger kids maybe watching this film have never seen those previous Spider-Man films. I mean, maybe they probably have seen them, like anticipation, or someone showed them, like their parents showed them before this film comes out, but who knows? There probably might be some kids who've never seen these films, so even if they haven't, these scenes will be a great way to show these kids that, okay, listen, there were these other Spider-Man universes that are very different from the one you see in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, and these are different Spider-Men, so these are villains from their universes, and now we're bringing them to this movie. So I think that'd be a great way to explain, or just at least give context for some of the people who have not seen those earlier films. Now, it's in these two final moments of our villains where these key scenes will then start to connect. Now, of course, as we all know, Doc Ock and Electro will both be appearing in No Way Home, thanks to Peter Parker and Doctor Strange breaking the multiverse. Great job, guys. So, combined with Doctor Strange breaking the multiverse, it will be these two sequences that these characters will be taken from into the MCU. It matches what Alfred Molina said about this film taking place almost immediately after where we last saw Doc Ock at the end of Spider-Man 2. So, combined with Doctor Strange's magical energy and the energy that was being put out during those two sequences is when those characters will be brought into the MCU. For Doc Ock, his sun machine will encapsulate him, and I think this could be a fun little retcon for them to do. But what if, instead of his sun machine disintegrating items when they get sucked into it, it's actually a portal that when stuff gets sucked into it, they wind up in the MCU. And we could see a scene during No Way Home where we see these items actually show up in the film. It'd be a very similar Gravity Falls Rick and Morty portal reference thing. Who remembers that? Remember that? That was pretty cool. And for Electro, when he's taking in all that energy, he supposedly died in that movie. But I never believed that because electricity can't be destroyed, only moved. So that electricity and Doctor Strange's magic were probably merging and combining at once and causing a massive overload, which is why you saw his battery starting to go, max out. And then after he dies in the movie, we then see his battery on the ground with just a bit of energy still left in it, and then it turns off. I always believed that Electro was in that battery entirely, and it turning off was signaling that he's now left the battery. So the magical dimensional energy was sucking him into the battery and then sucked him into a wormhole that brought him into the MCU. So of course, both these scenes are happening simultaneously on each other, and then we see both of them sucked through a portal and brought into the MCU, and they both land next to each other in the MCU now. And then they both stand up and ask, who the heck are you? Where are we? What's going on here? And then they will probably see the news report by J. Jonah Jameson on TV somewhere, like who knows where, and see Peter Parker being revealed as Spider-Man. And of course, they're both confused, like, wait, that's Spider-Man? Because they never found out who Spider-Man was. But Doc Ock be like, wait, that's not Spider-Man. He looks like a teenager. My Spider-Man's like 40. And then, of course, that's when the film cuts to black again, and then we see the Spider-Man No Way Home logo. So this opening does require some time shenanigans to happen, because if the multiverse is not broken until later on in the film, but then the villain gets sent back to like the ending of Far From Home, yeah, some time stuff would have to happen, but it's actually not unprecedented for that to happen. If you recall in Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Gwen was sent back in time when she was pulled into Miles' universe, even though the multiverse wasn't broken until later on in the film. They also could have a brief scuffle, or maybe no scuffle at all. I mean, who knows? Maybe they can even do a fun thing where Electro says, wait, aren't you Doc Ock? Because presumably there was a Otto Octavius in the Andrew Garfield universe, because we know they were planning for Doc Ock, but that never happened. So presumably there was a Doc Ock there, so it's kind of funny to say, Alfred Molina was also Doc Ock in Andrew Garfield's universe. Is a fun little joke there. I think this opening works with Doc Ock and Electro. It establishes Tobey's universe and Andrew's universe, and that villains from those universes will be coming to the MCU to fight Tom Holland and form a Sinister Six, possibly. I think it works well enough. And no need to shove in other villains in the opening either, like Green Goblin. Save them for later in the movie, just have two in the opening. Plus, we've known about Doc Ock and Electro coming back for the longest time since the film started production, so I feel like it makes the most sense to have these two villains at the forefront of this opening. It helps when Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina can't keep a secret for the life of them. But yeah, that's my fan idea for how Spider-Man No Way Home could open. Is it possible that this could be the opening to the film? Very likely not. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home looks like it'll be jumping a few months in time from where we saw them last in Far From Home to where they are now in No Way Home, because trailer indicates they're going to be taking place during Halloween a bit, so there'll definitely be a bit of a jump in time a little bit. So yeah, maybe it won't make too much sense to have these villains running around since June or July, so maybe it doesn't work, but hey, it's my little fun idea. I think it's pretty cool and neat. If the film were to open like this, I think it'd be pretty awesome and it would get my blood pumping for this movie. But what do you all think? Do you like my idea for how Spider-Man No Way Home should start? Or do you have a different idea for how this film should start? Let me know down in the comment section down below, and tell me how excited are you for Spider-Man No Way Home? Let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye. Hey, if you like that video, guess what? YouTube picked out a video just for you on the left. Or, if you want to take my advice, watch the most recent video on the right. Thanks for watching.